Good afternoon and welcome to They Say. This is a special edition. This is for Mother's Day. And I couldn't think of a better person to have this They Say episode with than my dear friend who's single mom, six-figure chick, boss chick out here just changing the world and changing the narratives for single parents. My good friend Crystal Smith. So Crystal, welcome and thank you so much for saying yes.
Hi, Allison. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here, especially it's a special weekend. It's Mother's Day. So this is just amazing.
It is, right? So happy Mother's Day to you, my friend.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you. So, Crystal, you have such a dynamic journey. That's why I said I couldn't think of anybody else that I would want to have this Mother's Day episode with outside of you. So, please kind of enlighten my audience a little bit with your journey.
Absolutely. So I am a Houston native. I've been here my entire life. I've relocated for work a couple times, but Houston is my home. I love it here. I got my bachelor's degree from Sam Houston State University in Huntsville, Texas. I got my master's degree a couple years later from Texas Southern University. So I'm a Bearcat and a Tiger at heart. I love both of those schools. I graduated high school at 17. Started out at community college, but ended up at these universities. And I contribute all of my success to my schools because I had amazing professors.
Yes.
Once I graduated, I went to work in oil and gas. So I work in the construction industry. I am a financial gal. So I am a finance guru. I work with project managers and engineers when we are constructing projects, energy infrastructure. So roads, buildings, facilities all over the world. And, yeah, and I sit on the board of a nonprofit. But my journey has been a good journey. I became a single mom when I was a junior in college. And I was a single mom pretty much right away. So I had to figure out ways to ensure success because I found out very quickly that one salary had to take care of two people. So that's what I did, and that's what brought me here today.
I understand, and I am right there with you. I became a single mom, gosh, about the same time. I think we had our daughters the same year. I had my daughter in 2007, and it's just been her and I taking over the world. So I totally get it. I respect the grind. But I think it's so important that you have that village and you have those members that you can glean from, that you can pull from, that our girls can see, and not just our girls, but even single moms, single dads can see what success looks like. Because I often feel like single parents get such a bad rap, especially moms, and not just moms, but minorities. We are considered a stigma. So just being able to defy the odds, I have so much respect for you, and I'm so honored that you said yes and that you're here, just showing people that you can defy odds, you can rock the world, and still be a great mom and show our daughters and sons that there's more out there for them despite the circumstances.
Yeah, so many people define success many different ways. How I describe it is a day by day situation at this point. So if I win the day, if I wake up and I get all my tasks done and my daughter's doing okay and I get a little time in with her, a little professional time, a little self development time, I get a chance to nourish my body correctly. I get a chance to make it to the gym for the day because I do try to slide in there about 3 or 4 times a week. That's what I consider success. Success to me is not all financial, although, as we understand as women and mothers, we do want that financial piece as well because it's what shows our children, it's what gives our children a good life.
Yep.
And I think every parent, whether they're a mother or a father, I think every parent wants their child to have a good life. So I define success as just those things on a daily basis, just making it through the day sometimes to me is success. But just doing those things that I have to do to make sure that I'm okay, as well as my child.
I love that. And I support that 100%. And I'm glad you spoke to that. So my like something I really want to know about you, and I think would be helpful to the audience is you are like the ultimate millennial mom. But I feel like you have, and not just millennial mom, you are the like corporate guru baddie, financial baddie. Like you're just doing all these amazing things. So with you having these titles and just being someone that your corporation taps on the shoulders to go all over Texas and represent, you are really like shaking how people view millennials in the workspace. So I really want you to speak to that because I think you are like one of the most dynamic millennials, mothers, and just people I know.
Wow, thank you so much, Allison. I really appreciate your comments. I really attribute it to my parents. My parents were very hard workers. My parents both retired from their jobs.
Wow.
My dad from the city of Houston, Public Works and Engineering Department. My mom from the Federal Reserve Bank. And
Oh,
it's all I know. It's all I've seen since I was a little girl. You know, my mom and dad would wake up, they would drop us to school, they would go to work, they would come home. But just seeing them in their journey, neither one of them have degrees, but both of them ended up managers at their jobs.
wow.
And I just respect that so much.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I got my first start. And being a millennial is important because to them, obviously, I always want to make sure, because I'm an overachiever, I always want to make sure that I'm making my parents proud.
Yep.
But being a millennial, oftentimes explain to them that it's not going to look how they feel that it should look sometimes, right? So I take risks, but I take calculated risks. And that's something that they don't understand. They call me risky.
Yeah.
Literally, they call me risky,
That's funny.
but they respect it. Initially, they didn't understand. But like I had to explain to them, I have a very untraditional life,
Yeah.
especially because I'm a single mom. My parents have been married for 39 years at this point. My older sister, 20 plus years, both married high school sweethearts. And my younger sister has been married about 6 or 7 years. And I'm a middle child of three children.
Wow.
So my life is very untraditional, graduating at 17.
Mm-hmm.
But I oftentimes explain to them, if I don't have that government job, if I don't retire from my job, if I don't get that pension, just please respect the things that I'm doing and please respect the decisions that I'm making as an adult, and just as a professional and their child in general. So over time, I feel like when I got my parents' blessing about that type of lifestyle, that's what kind of fueled my success. And then just having my daughter,
Yeah.
that's what took it to another level. Me as a millennial saying, okay, I'm going to hit the pave running and I'm going to bet on myself. I'm
Yeah.
going to do the things that sets me apart from my peers, those things that give me the competitive advantage, the self-development, the personal development, as well as all the other things, volunteerism, philanthropist, anytime I can give, any way I can give, whether it's my time, my talent, or my treasure, I do that. So millennials, we get a bad rap, but literally at my job, because I still very much so work a corporate job in
Yes.
addition to having my own company, is I make sure that they know that I'm not lazy.
Yep.
I am an overachiever, and whenever I'm called upon, you better believe it's going to be an A1 experience.
That is so awesome. And something that you said that I want us to unpack two things a little bit more is the betting on yourself. Because oftentimes people feel like betting on yourself is completely just risking it all and not thinking about the consequences of that risk or making calculated risk. So, how do you define betting on yourself?
I define betting on yourself as strategizing, putting together a plan, and actually doing all the things that you say you're going to do. So, whether it's self development, I do a lot of self development. Every morning, I listen to a podcast that's educational, something that I can take from. So, that's the self development piece. I do go for walks in my neighborhood most times. I do go to the gym. So, that is that self development as well, personal development. And then I professionally develop myself. So my mentality is, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So to me, when I go to bet on myself, or when somebody puts me in front of someone where I could have an opportunity, or an opportunity presents itself, I'm ready, right? So betting on yourself is not quitting your job and going all in. As a matter of fact, I'm a financial guru. I do not suggest that unless you have a nest egg to fall back on. But betting on yourself is not all the time quitting your job, going all in, and risking it all, right? Because we should be, the more years of experience that we get, we should be getting wiser as well.
Yeah.
So betting on yourself is doing all the things that you need to do to position yourself to win, to position yourself to advance, and to make sure that you stay on point.
Yep.
All at all times.
I agree. And something that I like that you said was professional development. So I definitely feel like we're in a time in a season where corporations aren't really paying like they used to, or giving you additional leeway to get the professional services that you need, or the professional development that you need to really advance your career. And what I love is your new brainchild, the crystal clear career solutions.
Yes.
So tell us more about this brainchild. I am excited for it.
Yeah, so Crystal Clear Career Solutions is a company where we do a lot of professional development. So there's one on one coaching that's offered if someone needs to learn how to strategize in their career to get to that next level. And I do realize that everyone doesn't want to climb the corporate ladder. I've seen so many posts about people saying, I don't want to climb the corporate ladder. I just want to make enough money to get through the day, the year, the month,
Yep.
take a vacation every now and then, and live a good life and have a good quality of life. I do understand that. But if we got to be at work also, so in addition to the one on one coaching, where you are taught strategies to ensure success, you are taught how to negotiate, the art of negotiation, the art of networking. You are taught how to have that confidence that you need to have in the workplace because believe it or not, your employers know when you're not confident in your skill sets. And they know when you're not professionally developing yourself. And they also know when you're not networking because when you're not networking, you don't have mentors nor sponsors.
Yep.
Now, when we talk about mentors, that is those people that are going to develop you further. So they take responsibility for your development. So they're teaching you the way, they're giving you the cheat code, they're holding you accountable, they're making sure that you're successful in the workplace. The sponsors are the ones that are speaking on your behalf when you're not in the room.
Yep.
So if your managers, if you don't have those two people, your managers already know that you don't know how to master the art of networking, right? So I teach people how to do that at Crystal Clear Career Solutions. Now I also host events. So Crystal Clear Career Solutions, we again believe in personal and professional development. So every now and then we host events, women empowerment events, where we can all come together as professional women to share experiences and to learn from those experiences and have some key takeaways that we can implement right away. My most recent event for Crystal Clear Career Solutions was a CEO Power Luncheon, where I had 4 dynamic speakers, and these speakers, I kid you not, were so amazing. One's been in banking for 25 years and is just a financial guru as well. The another one has been working at Halliburton almost 20 years. And another one has been working at ExxonMobil for the same time frame, about 20 years. And my last speaker, she was in pharmaceutical sales, making a 6-figure salary. She quit her job, bet on herself, and she's in the real estate space, got a real estate license as well as her brokerage license. And I mean, she was a powerhouse. Everyone was so amazing. She's doing really well in the real estate space. But I feel that hosting these events, these women empowerment events, are very important because all the time you may not be able to have the time or the money for the coaching, but you can say on a Saturday every now and then, I could sit in a room, have a seat at the table to learn things that I need to know in order to ensure success. Now, I tell all of the speakers, we do want to make sure that you share highs and lows, right? Because life has its ebbs and flows, and sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose, but we need to know how to navigate the wins and losses. So we have to talk about that. And then we have to give 3 to 5 key takeaways that women can implement today, right now, to ensure success. So on top of the one-on-one coaching, on top of the hosting the events, there's also a mentorship program that's upcoming as well that I'm waitlisting because I want to make sure that we have all powerhouses in this group that we can just take each other to the next level. There will be speakers from time to time in that group as well. So there's 3 products and services that are offered right now. But yeah, it's an amazing thing just to see women elevate around you because there's enough for all of us to eat.
I know that's right. And I think that's awesome. And what I like is that you're creating a space where women can come together, empower each other, learn from each other, different backgrounds, different perspectives, but it's a space where it's a safe space. And I have personally been involved in this space and I think it's amazing. And I commend you because I don't know if you've seen this, but as of late, and maybe it's just like our generation's turn to see it, but I feel like as of late, I've seen more senior level executives get either early retirement, decide to leave the corporate, or just decide that they're separating from their career that they've been in 25, 30 years, 20 years. I'm seeing so many women that I admire, that I have interactions with, kind of going through this pivot right now. And not just women, but just the world. I feel like the world is pivoting in such a major way. And it's truly the changing of the guards. So I agree with you that if you don't understand the importance of your professional development, especially when things are changing, that is when you get your biggest opportunities. When everything looks like it's falling apart, you are falling into place. So I agree with Crystal about the importance of staying ready. So surrounding yourself with mentorship, sponsorship, and that professional development that you're not getting inside of your 9 to 5. And it's unrealistic to think that that's the only source of development. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to network. You've got to get around other women that are doing what you're looking to do, and men, because there's, like she said, there's room for all of us at the table, but it always comes down to how bad do you want it. And I truly believe, like Crystal said, these corporations can tell who's really serious and who's not. And those are the ones they usually give the opportunity to, the ones that are raising their hands, the ones that show up consistently, the ones that constantly deliver. So we can't be mad or jealous or saying somebody's not giving us an opportunity if we're not in a position of being ready. Would you agree, Crystal?
I would 100% agree. I mean, honestly, my job sent me to Atlanta recently to do some recruiting for our job. So we were recruiting mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, as well as computer science students at the NESB conference. And this conference is huge.
Yep.
Um, and I still don't know who my sponsor was that spoke to me, that spoke to wanting me to join this executive leadership team to go and make this trip to recruit these students for our schools. So, yeah, you're right. People are pivoting out of corporate America, but I think it's a great opportunity for millennials to fall into place and to make sure they're ready.
Yep.
You got to be ready. Everybody wants the opportunity, but nobody takes the time to be ready. You got to be ready. Sometimes what I hear, and every time I hear it, I kind of cringe a little bit because I'm like, ugh, but you're putting yourself you're not allowing yourself to be in that bubble or that circle of influence.
Yep.
So sometimes I hear people saying, I'm just going to work and that's it. I'm not really worried about advancing. I'm not really worried about staying after. I'm not really worried about volunteering. But as these executive leaders are transitioning out of corporate America, they are going to speak to the people that they want to see in their positions. And you want your name to be on that list.
Yep.
It's very vital that you make those connections and that you strategically network, right? Because you want to make sure that your name is in the numbers. So yeah, I feel that, yeah, a lot of executive leaders are transitioning out and they're pivoting out, but I think it's a great opportunity for millennials to step up to the plate and show that we're ready too.
And I think that's powerful because that definitely goes against what everything society is pushing, that we aren't ready. But I believe there's a lot of us that have taken the mentorship and the sponsorship and really sat at these people's feet, who we consider mentors and sponsors, to really get that added advantage and get an understanding of what next looks like. And something that I love that you do is, I have been to many of your events, and I love that your daughter is there serving alongside of you. She's there networking. She's there working the room. So, Crystal, please talk to the importance of that.
Yeah, so listen, being a mother is a 24-hour a day job. And I will admit, when I first, when Crystal Clear Career Solutions first came to fruition, I was one of those moms that was like, I'm not going to drag my kid all over the place just to show face that she's a part of my life. I'm not going to plaster her all over my social media, but I realized I was doing her a disservice. Yep. I realized that I was not showing her what it's like to be in these rooms and showing her what it's like to serve. Yep. Right. So every event that I have now, my daughter is doing, as you see, a registration. She's also helping us set up. She's also pulling up the step and repeat. She's also helping my mom set up the smart photo booth. I mean, she is everywhere. Reason being is because I want to teach her how to be well-rounded. I want to teach her how to serve, and I want to teach her how to function and know how to maneuver and navigate herself whenever she's in these rooms where there are these big names and where are these big sponsors, right? Because as you know, I have big sponsors in the room from major corporations that sponsor these events. Yes, so I want to show her how to conduct herself even when she's a part of these big sponsors. So I even teach her how, when we have sponsors that come in and check in for registration, show them to their table. This is where they sit. When you see speakers, this is where they sit. This is how you handle them. So they're us teaching our children. The Bible says charity starts at home. And so this is a part of that charity that starts at home. You know, who better to show her how to be a young lady and how to be a professional than her mom? Because I'm teaching all these other women, professional women, how to be, good women and self-development and personal development. And it just wouldn't even feel right if I wasn't even doing that with my own daughter. So I love to see her out there working. It makes me proud. I do thank her for her time whenever we're done. She logs her volunteerism hours for college, right? Because she's a junior, she's going to be a senior next year. And it's just an all-around experience for her to learn and take all that in.
I think that's powerful, and something that I can definitely agree, and I feel like we both walk in, is the importance. If we're positioning everybody else and we're positioning ourselves, we are doing a disservice if we aren't positioning our own children.
Yep.
And what I have found is a lot of this generation doesn't understand the importance, like the younger generations, your daughter's generation, my daughter's generation, about networking and getting out there and putting yourself out there. And for them to be doing this at 16 and 17, they're miles away from most of their friends, because a lot of kids are distracted by their cell phones and their parents are not teaching them how to socially interact beyond the phone. And I was telling my dad yesterday that it's almost like the children, they don't know how to socially interact because they do everything through their phone. So their interaction is a little off. And I know COVID and so many things, but I feel like we owe it to them. We owe it to them to position them, and in positioning them, really showing them how to navigate this thing called life. And it's more than just your phone. It's more than the computer. It's more than just, kind of going inward. It's really putting yourself out there and seeing what happens. So I commend everyone and anyone that's really taking that time to invest in that next generation, because they are our future.
Yeah, so that I was going to say that as soon as you were done, these children of the next generation, we could either beat them down with our words or we could build them up and show them the way, right?
Yeah.
Because them being kids, we didn't have social media growing up. We didn't have cell phones. I didn't get a cell phone until I was like 16, and it was only for driving purposes. My dad was like, you have to lock it in the glove compartment when you're driving, and you only can make a call when you make it somewhere, and then when you're coming, letting me know that you're going home. We didn't have the texting and all this stuff. My phone literally had numbers on it, a green button to dial and a red button to end the call.
You had to text it, but you had to push the phone like 10 times, another 10
you didn't really want to do, right? So we weren't distracted by social media and our cell phones. I mean, I think about the fact that when I wanted to look up and see what a word meant, I had to grab a dictionary, an encyclopedia, to just find out what a word means. And I look at my nephew, he's 5 years old. He can work an iPad better than I can.
Yep.
So, when we have our children, we can give them a leeway with hanging out with their friends and going to the mall and, being on social media, et cetera, et cetera. But we also have a duty and a responsibility to them to not only teach them the way, but show them the way, not only with our words, but with our life.
Oh, yes. And I think that one of my favorite things that my parents always tell me, that they will read your life more than they actually look at your life. So they're going to look at what you do and read what you do and make sure, because, these kids don't do hypocritical. Like, you're not, hypocrite. They will be the first ones to call you out about it. So it's pretty funny, but I appreciate the accountability and just kind of the space they put us in. So as we kind of wrap up and just conclude our chat, talk to me about how motherhood has really just impacted you and just propelled you to that next level.
Yeah, listen. So motherhood has taught me so much. One of the things that it's taught me is resilience. Because again, a lot of times when you are in the workplace and you are in the world, people look down on single motherhood, and it is a stigma. And that's one of my goals is breaking the stigma of single motherhood. So it's taught me a lot of resilience and how to work past pain points, how to find solutions to roadblocks. It's also taught me the art of multitasking.
Yep.
So I am doing 50 things at one time at all times. And a lot of people think I'm crazy, but at the end of the day, I have to be this way. This is just my life. Some call it chaos, but I call it organized chaos. So it's taught me a lot about how to multitask. And it's taught me the how to prioritize effectively.
Mm.
Right? So the ability to prioritize effectively is a key thing because you have to be operating on a time schedule at all times.
All times.
I mean, my daughter's just finishing softball, so there was times that I had to leave work. I'm having to go to the softball field. I'm having to bring my laptop. I'm having to bring the cell phone. I'm having to do all the things, right? But she sees my face and
Mhm.
she sees my face and she looks out there. And so she wants to perform at a high level just because she knows the sacrifice that I made to show up. So it also taught me the ability to prioritize effectively. So it's taught me many things. It's taught me empathy and understanding.
Mm.
Honestly, just last night, my daughter and I had a powwow where she called me out on some things because, like you said, their generation will call you out, and
Oh,
they're very much so
yeah.
all about respect is earned and not given,
Hmm.
which is very different than how I grew up.
Very different.
I
Me
grew up
too.
is respect is just respect because of the person, the age, and who they were. And any adults were to be respected. Period. I don't care if they were doing wrong or not. But it's taught me empathy and understanding because a lot of times, my daughter just wants to be seen and heard. And
Yes.
sometimes I'm moving so fast and I'm so business and I'm so matter of fact that I look past it and I heard her feelings on something and we were able to talk it out. She was able to empathize with me. I was able to sympathize with her. And we came together, we hugged it out. And at the end of the day, we love each other. And that's what we do. That's motherhood. That's what motherhood has taught me how to work past those things, how to admit that I'm wrong, how to give that hug and that love and that kiss that I know she needs to have that confidence and how to work past it. So
Yep.
motherhood has taught me so much. I mean,
Yeah.
problem solving. I mean, it's taught me so many problem solving skills. It's taught me how to adapt to certain situations. It's just taught me so much.
I think and also I agree with you. It teaches you how to adapt. It teaches you how to pivot quickly. It teaches you how to not take things personally. Um, and what the real test will be for both of us is your daughter's about to be a senior off to college in 2020, end of 2015. My daughter is or 2025,
Yeah.
yeah, not 2015. And then my daughter is off to college, and I tell her all the time, this is really going to be the test to see how well we did. And she laughs at me, but I am so serious. Like people were like, Allison, you're killing it. I was like, no, don't tell me that. I'm grateful and I thank God for where she's at. But the real test is when you get out your parents' home and you
Yeah.
remember those lessons and you remember those voices and you remember what they tell you to do and you make that decision to either go left or right. So
Yeah.
it's really coming down to what she decides. So we're both going through some major transitions. So I'm excited to not have to do this alone because that has been a place of vulnerability for me because it's been her and I my whole life for all 17 years. And I just been like plowing away like a football. I tell her it's like a football. I've been holding her like a football and just plowing through the field, making sure we get to the goal and not really just thinking about much. And now I'm like, man, my focus is shifting now that she's leaving.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. So this journey that we're on, and I'll you hold my hand, I'll hold your hand, Crystal.
Yes, yes. And we need each other, right? And that's what I appreciate about you and platforms like this platform is because we're allowed to be vulnerable, we're allowed to be honest, and
Yeah.
we're allowed to share things that will help other mothers, that will help other professionals, and we could just get as raw and authentic as we want to be. Our kids are growing up. Kudos to your daughter for graduating at 17. I had the same experience. Kudos to her for also being a Bearcat, eat 'em up
Oh,
cat.
eat them up. You
I
guys
love it.
alumni. Like I swear, I thought the Aggies or something. These Bearcats are something else.
The Bearcats, we stay strong. We hold
Yeah.
it together. As a matter of fact, at my last event, there was about 10 Bearcats. I kid
Look,
you
I
not.
saw a picture with y'all holding up your little claw. I was like, oh Lord, Samara would have loved that.
Like 10 of us, and I didn't even realize that everybody was going to show up how they did. And every event, someone else shows up to show their support for what they see the vision and they see that I'm purpose driven on helping people and self developing and professionally developing. And your daughter will have the same experience. She'll become a part of a family where we all just help each other and want to see the success of each other in our lives, personally, professionally, however. So she's joining a good group of folks that down at Sam Houston.
Oh, I'm excited for her. And
Yeah.
Crystal, how do we stay in contact with you, and what's coming up next? Because I feel like anybody that comes on They Say is on the rocket. So you're on the rocket. So tell us how to keep up.
Absolutely. So if you guys exclusively are hearing it first, but Crystal Clear Career Solutions is hosting its third annual Resilient Parents Brunch, where it is the same platform as the CEO Power Luncheon. However, at the Resilient Parents Brunch, this is where we handpick those mothers that are rock stars, that are killing the game, that can share success strategies, that could come in a room and empower moms that are in the same positions that they're in to just do more, want more, and be more, whether that's personally, in their families, as well as in the workplace. So that's coming up on September the 21st. It'll be at 12 p.m. It is a brunch style event. It'll be at Maggiano's in the Galleria area. The address is 2019 Post Oak Boulevard. So that's upcoming. And then the mentorship group is another big thing that's coming up. If you want to be waitlisted, which we're doing that now, please send me an email personally at Crystal Clear Career Solutions and just send me a note and say, Crystal, I saw you on Allison's podcast and I really want to be a part of the mentorship program, and we will get you waitlisted to be a part of the mentorship program. If you are following me on LinkedIn, my name is exactly how it looks here. So Crystal Smith, MBA, is my name on LinkedIn. And as well as if you want to follow me on Instagram, I am at the Six Figure Single Mom. So just check me out. The website is www.sixfiguresinglemom.com as well. So got a lot of things going on, but just helping as many people as possible. But that's where you can find me.
I love it. And I love that you're speaking more. I love that you're looking for more brand partnerships. Like, you are killing it. Continue to, and I love that you're working with these large corporations. And those are definitely things that people want. So they definitely need to get with you to understand how to position themselves so that they can get these corporate sponsors and just larger connections. But Crystal, it has been a pleasure and an honor. I wouldn't have wanted to pick any other mother for Mother's Day except my single mom sister, who can really speak to multi-generation. So thank you for taking this time with me. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day to your mother, who is the ultimate service. Like, I see her serving all around town. Like, she is so amazing. So happy Mother's Day to your mother and your sisters. And just thank you, my friend.
You're welcome, Allison. Thank you for sharing your platform with me. And I look forward to just a year of success.
Awesome. And that will conclude this They Say. We'll see you Wednesday, guys.